Zard Show. Welcome to the Zard Show. We're gonna talk about music and do a whole lot of and conversate about politics. No, we're not. Sponsored by the Grassy Knoll. Sponsored by Epstein's Island. Sponsored by the Illuminati. Sponsored by the Federal Reserve. Sponsored by every conspiracy that ever existed. You are somewhat manic host, Zard. All right, so without further ado, we have Ethan Fields. Oh my God, you have no idea. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked to talk to you.
Dude, I'm super stoked too.
Dude, you seem like a stoked guy in general.
I'm always stoked.
I'm not gonna lie. From the first text, you know, I reach out to a couple people to do the show, and a lot of them just go, they have this professional, hello, I will, yes, 10 minutes, please. You know, you're just like ready to go, 9:30, hey, let's do this podcast.
Yeah, let's do it. Like I was in the bathroom, I saw the email, I responded, yanked that toilet paper, and here I'm just kidding. I responded after finishing the bathroom.
So I feel like 90% of all transactions done via phone are like, you always have to know, like, this might be on the bathroom right now. Like, you know,
yeah,
there's that bathroom FOMO. So dude, I just want to talk about, because I think you're killing it right now. Honestly, I don't know if it's LED Lightroom. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is, but I was just doing like most of us do, talking about toilet. You know, I was on the toilet and I was going through Instagram Reel, and Instagram algorithm seems to love you, dude. It seems to just pump you up to the very top every single time.
Yeah, I'm really lucky in that regard. I guess, you know, Facebook, Instagram are really great companies. So, you know, it's awesome that, you know, we're in their back pocket.
But so what I've been seeing is that, like, so I'm trying to get this picture all cleared up, because from what I can tell from just your Instagram, a quick scroll, I did like a 2-minute stock. It seems that you started literally, what, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, like making Gen Z content?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I had always made music since high school, you know, recording and producing, but my presence, I guess, on TikTok and Reels started, I guess, back in April. And so it was sort of just like a quarantine project. Like, let's make some fun videos and see where it goes. And so I started doing these music mashups that got a lot of traction. And so for a while I was on the mashup wave. But more recently, to your point about the Gen Z stuff, that started about a month ago. Started writing these like silly jingles, you know, trying to just speak to like what people are going through every day. And it's really worked out. Obviously, like, it's still kind of like this experiment, like figuring out what format's gonna work best and really dialing in the aesthetic. But yeah, so that's sort of like the timeline.
Yeah, I do not think it is an experiment anymore. I think this experiment has gotten out of the lab.
Yeah, mad scientist, Dr. Octopus vibes.
Yeah, I think this experiment has totally got out of the labs. You know, basically when I saw your stuff, it really reminds me. I think your nervous energy comes from like an all gas, no brakes kind of vibe, mixed with Bill Wirtz. I mean, you can't deny that dude has like a mad influence on you.
Totally. I mean, the history of Japan, history of the world, two of the greatest, I was going to say YouTube videos, but actually I paused because it could be pieces of art of all time that we're talking about here. I mean, he is goated in every regard. The music, the timing of the comic relief, you know, the visuals, it all just, it's amazing.
No, this is exactly what I think you're tapping into 100%. It's like this nervous energy. And, you know, it's so interesting is because he was doing the thing, of course, on YouTube, but I think that you're definitely taking it and you're doing your own. Like, you're definitely putting your own spin on it. Like, I listened to your slight discography, which is like, I don't know, 20 songs, 15 songs. They're all dope, but you know, it's a totally different vibe. Like, he goes for a way more like realism with like, he's very introspective. You just kind of, you do your own thing. It's that nervous energy that I think is really cool. So you started doing this like 2 or 3 months ago, right? You just like, right. I'm quarantined like the rest of us. How about, I don't know, I just use my camera, put this funny stuff out there. Did you ever walk me through that process from the very beginning? Like, when you said, hey, now I'm a musician, but I want to do some TikTok. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of trial and error. Initially, when I started on TikTok in April, I was trying to do these just comedy videos grasping at trends that were happening. So for example, Run by AWOL Nation was this trending sound. So I did this bit where it's like watching a play, but it's in 1864. And so the character in the video is Abraham Lincoln. So like it times with like the beat switch and Run to where he's like suddenly slumped into the chair, like very dark stuff, like Bo Burnham vibes. But that wasn't really sticking too well until I did this video. It was like Wii Sports as the 1975s, because I was playing Wii one time and I was like, man, these synthesizers sound exactly like something the 1975 would do. So did that matchup video, and that's sort of what got the ball rolling. And so early on, I was just doing bands that I knew really well. So like Tame Impala, Nirvana, like just these big classic heads. And now, or I guess this would be midsummer, I still do the mashups now, but a little bit less. But I started learning basically how to impersonate bands, and I would spend every day just like on the treadmill, like singing over the speaker and like trying to like replicate the voice, to the point where like I think we've done like at least like 25 different artists now. And so yeah, that's been really cool. So I guess to get to your point about like the Gen Z stuff, like I don't know, I've been seeing a lot of Bill Wirtz lookalikes on TikTok, or like people trying to replicate that style of, you know, putting text to music in a catchy format. But I think too many people are trying to like just straight up copy it. Like they're very like neo soul jazzy, and you know, that's not really like what I do. And I thought like, oh, this is a great way to sort of tie it into my musical universe. So it's like, how do we create a Bill Wirtz type video that feels current and modern and has the aesthetics that like kids love, kids being like, you know, people our age and whatnot. How old are you, Charles? I'm sorry.
I'm 28, but I'm aging fast.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
you have a youthful vibrance.
Yeah, that's all the NAD and oxygen tanks that I do. But
I love that.
It's all the child blood that I've been drinking, but it seems to do the trick. But no, I mean, so you're doing, so basically I have like a lot of clients and stuff that I engineer for or mix and master for, but I tell them like what you're doing like right now is like what I feel like is this new world. I feel like so many people I see them like man, I just put together a 600 song EP and I'm gonna put it out on Spotify with absolutely no more, you know, they don't do anything. I feel like this is the most direct way to do things. I mean, how many songs, I don't know about you personally, but how many songs have you seen recently just blow up from like Bada Doobie, how am I saying that wrong? The coffee song.
Biba Doobie. Yeah.
That one.
So she's so great.
Yeah, or Benny, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bad with the pronunciation. But there's so many songs. Even the Gus Dapperton song got like mad play. And it just, bam. Okay, and it makes sense because when I'm going throughout my day, I can't help but go like do that Travis Scott coding got me tripping. I don't, because you see it so many times on the talk, you know. And so I think it's a great venue for music. And then honestly, I'm almost on the camp that like music is dead. Unfortunately, it just seems like I don't know how many people have just broken out, just like, hey, I'm just doing music. I'm a music for music's sake. I'm gonna put it out on Bandcamp. I mean, sometimes it works if you have like a lot of local following, but I think isn't the way just rapid iteration, all visual, and then once you get that platform, so you know, then you're like, bam, okay, here I am.
Yeah, totally. I think you're touching on a lot of things there. Yeah, it's amazing how the app is making songs trend, and the type of music that's trending is different than pop music. Even in 2019, I would say, like, there's just this, even the names like Benny and Biba Doobie, like it's designed for digital format. You don't have to necessarily know how to say it. You look at the characters, like the characters for text, and you see it looks intriguing just like on that like visual level. So then sonically, like people are using all these. Also, is my mic clipping at all? Am I talking too loud?
Yeah, it's clipping, but I don't know. I can't tell if that's part of an aesthetic or
bass boosted.
Or that raw, like, oh, this is a raw ass interview. Oh, this is before Ethan Fields had the good microphone.
Right. I mean, this is, well, yeah, just like you know, like the Shure mics. All right, this should be a little bit better. So yeah, what was I saying? So you have all these crazy sonic palettes. Like I'm thinking of like, you know, the artist 645 AR. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but the song For the Trap, it's like so you have all these weird vocal samples and like chops of bits and pieces from like found sound forming songs, which I don't think like we've seen since maybe the mid 90s when sampling like really like blossomed, like DJ Shadow and
right.
Pete Rock and whatnot. What was your question? I feel like I went on like a huge tangent there.
I was just saying that how I'm trying to recommend like through this podcast, like trying to help people who are coming up in the scene or younger artists. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I want them to, of course, work on music because that's the craft. That's the thing that we like all aspire to do. I mean, everyone wants to be Kevin Parker and wants to be Tame Impala, but I'm just like, I wish like please like take that 2 songs that you were going to put on the EP that are masterpieces and shelve them and just follow some of the, use your voice, use your artistic voice and do something on TikTok or just do something and put something on YouTube. Like just, even if it's just raw, I've seen so many people blow up, like this girl, Sue Lee, this Korean girl, she did this thing called I'll Just Dance. Have you seen that video?
Is it like the 3 screens? Or maybe
no.
I'm thinking of something else.
She's just a little indie artist that just blew. I mean, I did the internet stalking with her too. So she literally was posting on Reddit. And you see like this post, hundreds of posts where she's posting on Reddit. Hey, this is my new song. And she just literally takes a camera and just dances to her song and just little scribbles on it. And then it just took one. And it was honestly a fire song. So if you have like some sort of like talent, some sort of already good bass, and you just translate that to a visual medium, that's how you do it. And that's what enables us until Spotify actually wants to pay us something more than 10 cents on every 200,000 streams. You need to do this. I feel like, and so that's why I want to talk to you. That's why I'm so excited to talk to you, dude, because I think, again, we're talking like you started 2-3 months ago, right? And just look at that X factor of scalability, and it just, there you go. And your shit's dope. I mean, that's the thing. I know. I'm going to hype you up. This is the hype. But it's true, dude. Like, your stuff is so dope. It's so raw. Like, I was listening to my car, I was just driving around listening to it. And I was like, there's a lot of versatility there. I wouldn't say you have, like, one defined sound. But what's the one track I wanted to bring up? I think it was Yellow. Yellow is such a bop, all right? And so is New Thing, right? They're just, like, these – I mean, I could see them on almost any – regular bedroom pop thing, any playlist, right? It's just instantly good. But how the hell am I ever going to go, like, am I going to search up Fields? Am I going to find something through the algorithm? Like, how else am I going to find you, dude? And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I found you through a 20-second, because all your stuff is produced, by the way, really well. Like all the TikTok, EQ'd, they're pretty mastered pretty well. This is dope. I mean, I'm calling it now. I've been thinking about this. I'm calling it now. I think if you keep the experiment going for 1 year, I would say by June of next year, 1 million followers on TikTok. 1 million followers, probably 200-300K on Instagram, Dude.
That'd be cash money. I mean, I really appreciate all the hype, dude. It means a ton for sure. And it's definitely, the product, I think, of like wanting to do this for a long time. Like, I'd been producing music in GarageBand since I was like 10, and so it's just sort of like been in my bones in a way to like put music out into the world. And so I don't know, it just happened to be like a perfect storm of you have these video apps coming up and being in college and having these sort of like coming of age experiences. Like, might as well like broadcast yourself to the world and kind of have this music be the soundtrack to your life,
Definitely. I mean, so when I was in college, which I still am because I'm taking a 10-year degree, but when I was early in college, my first 2 years of my 10-year degree, Vine was coming up. And, after that, I actually left college for a little bit and went to LA. And one of my neighbors, you might know him, was Logan Paul. He was
no way.
Yeah, he was in the apartment complex next to me. And it was crazy seeing Jake and Logan. I mean, I used to see Logan running around Hollywood just working out. I mean, he's just a regular dude. But him and Jake both, it's some internet history, basically positioned themselves super well when they saw this thing coming. And I think it's not much about the medium. It's about how you capitalize the medium initially, and I think people think, especially as TikTok becomes more mainstream and people are, the ban and all this sort of stuff, becoming mainstream media, people think, it's too far out of reach. I can't do it. There's already too many people. There's already that one girl, Dixie D'Amelio, has 30 million people. It's like, no. This is still like a very viable option, but you have to put out good content. Like, and you said, like you said, you were following trends. You were figuring out these mashups. You had a specific discipline. Hey, you knew what you were good at. Hey, I'm a musician. I've done this forever. And then you had like your sense of humor. And maybe not everyone has that sense of humor, but they do have something that they can do. So it's like, damn, I'm struggling. I'm trying to get people on the train. And this is someone who, like myself, is not on the train at all. Like, I'm not doing it, but there was a period 2 years ago where I was like okay, should I like stop everything I'm doing and do the TikTok full time, which probably would have done well. But I just want to like put it. I want to reach out to someone like you who has been doing so well. And then I'm like, the cool thing is like, I know there are some weird TikTok trends, some weird rapper trends that maybe they just have a mic and they just put on autotune and, you know, and it blows up, and that's cool because I like those songs as well. But you have like, as again, from mentioning your other songs like Yellow and did I get, yeah, all that. It's like you already had the potential built in. So when you were like ready, like I think you're now like positioned ready for you're ready for it. You're like, you're not going to get blocked. You're not going to tell this is a one-off. You're like, hey, well, I've been doing this like again since 10 years old. I've been clicking buttons. So like, I'm ready to go.
Exactly. I think, so to your earlier point about like certain songs kind of blowing up and getting that exponential rise, like there's that risk for a lot of artists, like that they can't capitalize on that success and then they kind of fade away. So like my biggest concern going into all of this is like, I don't want to be a person who's known, for example, making the Cooler Than Me Nirvana song. So that's been like the most popular one thus far. And what's that?
It's good. I'm just saying, unfortunately, I mean, again, I really love the other tracks. Like, I think New Thing is like totally your own vibe. But yeah, it's unfortunate that the Nirvana cover is like numero uno, because I think you're more than that. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, I totally appreciate that. Like you've gone through the whole discography, and you know, I love the cover. Like it sounds great, but I was very deliberate about not letting that define the page. I think it's more important to kind of build a solid following and have people have sort of an expectation of who you are, as opposed to, oh, he or she or they're the person that made this, you know. And so yeah, the goal is like to just be patient, keep a sort of, if you see something that works, ideate upon it and expand that idea. So like with the jingles, you know, that's kind of become its own series. And even now, like I'm sort of pivoting away from that to just do like straight up comedy. The goal being that like, yeah, we're just sort of like fleshing out all aspects of my personality to the point where like, if we do a big release like next year, like I'm probably going to put out like a single or an EP that's like a little bit more serious in terms of like just reach and stuff and promo.
Yeah, definitely.
So like that, it's going to position that release like very well for success, I think.
We got to take a few steps back, but what was the moment where like, you're just like, hey, let's just work it. Like you didn't get like 1 million likes or something. Like, what's that like? Just first of all, what's that experience like? Because I think people think like it's a fantasy. They see you, they see an image, they see a face, they correlate that with like, oh, this guy is famous. He's always no, you're just regular guy. You're just Ethan, just chilling, and you're like, I'm bored in my room. What's it like when it just finally pops off for you? You know, what's that feeling? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with this influx? You're like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, it's weird because it's kind of like Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill. Like you think that I'm gonna hit. Well, this I would say is like more later on in the success, quote unquote. Early on, I was just like super like ho hum about everything. Like, wow, 1,000 followers. This is great. This is way more than I have on Instagram, even, you know, something like that. And so it was just like a motivating factor to just keep churning out vids. So there was a point, I think in July, where I was making a TikTok like every 2 to 3 days, just like really, really like grinding on it. Now I've done it a lot less, but certain videos were definitely like huge touch points in that rise. So like the first video to go viral really was this last Friday night as 100 Gex mashup. And so I don't know, Gex just have such a cult following and it lines up well with the age demographic of people on TikTok. So that one like immediately like gave somewhere between 10 to 15,000 followers in like 2 days. So like that was huge. So you know, if like look at the graph, there's like a few humps like that. There's a second 100 Gex video that did the same thing. And pretty much like once it crossed into the threshold of where you had like random people sort of like migrating over to your Instagram page and like treating, like when people start to treat you as an artist and not necessarily as your friend, like early on, it was very much like, Ethan, this is so cool. I'm so hyped you're on the app. Whereas now it's just like total randos who are like, oh my gosh, I would fuck him so badly or something like that. And that's like kind of weird to think about, that there's like randos out there who are saying this without like any filter. So I would say like that was the threshold, because once you have that trust of random people, that's when you can start to really be weird. So in a way, like I was kind of guarded, more genuine tone. Well, not even genuine, because I think I'm genuinely like kind of weird and nervous. So, but now I'm like really just letting that loose with the understanding that like people have come to appreciate it. So yeah, I'd say like that started probably with the jingles, just like getting into this new character, so to speak.
Do you like your friends around you? I don't even know where you are. Don't disclose that probably. But what state?
I'm like 20 minutes from downtown Orlando.
All right, perfect. I'm sure these stalkers will love it if they ever find the video. But so like you're like your regular buds, your friends around there in Orlando. You're like, they're like, hey, is you see any like minor social change, like just within your own friend group? You're like, oh, he's doing TikToks. He thinks he's so cool. Or any of those like backhanded.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, it's been so weird because I honestly haven't socialized in months because of the pandemic. So I haven't like seen people in person since like I would say June. So that's been a little strange. So I honestly can't even tell. Like I've been like recognized by people in Zoom classes, which is really fun and cool. Like just like random lectures. Somebody's like, hey, I saw you on the FYP, so that's been fun. But generally, friends have been like super supportive. Like at least up in college, I had a reputation for being a musician, like played in a band up there, and like people kind of knew what I was up to. So it's largely just been like people like, oh wow, like this is so great that people are finally seeing the music. So yeah,
people are super supportive. They're like, hey, we're on board. Now, how the heck did you took over the Harvard page?
Yeah. So that was just like through a friend. Like they do Instagram takeovers periodically, and she reached out and was like, hey, would you be interested in doing the takeover? I was like, sure, why not? This should be fun. And so I'd been kind of looking at the page for a while, like seeing how other students were posting on it. And it's very like by the book. Like students at Harvard are like kind of programmed a certain way to introduce themselves. Like, oh, I live in this house, I study this thing. So I was trying to like push back on that a little bit by sort of having fun with it. So I put like the Spotify, the less I know, the better song link on there, like ironically, even though like all the random adults looking at the page is probably like, oh, Tame Impala, this is a good artist or whatever. You know what I mean?
I think you'd be generous. I don't even know if they know what that is. They might have heard it sometime. I think it's just funny. Imagine like some PhD astrophysics guy, and he just works every day on just trying to understand the universe, and he just clicks. Oh, he does the old man click with the phone and just click, and he's going through the story. He just sees you just like do it. You're like, he's like, this school, what has happened? Right. In my tenure, it was all good.
That's so funny. I mean, yeah, it's like the whole. I saw it as like a great opportunity to just lean into the satire that I already do on TikTok. It's sort of like, at the largest level, it's like taking over the verified Harvard page and then posting like really, really silly stuff that like is on brand with my content. I'm surprised they even let that happen because like. Yeah. I feel like it's like embarrassing for the school in some aspects, but it's also not like it should make fun of itself more. I was
super surprised. I mean, like I saw your thing and I was thinking about it and I was like, wait a second, I could definitely reach out to this guy. Maybe I might have a chance. I might have a glimmer before before the whole prediction thing. And so I was like, oh no, he got featured on Harvard. He's not gonna respond. He fucking hates me. That's how I feel about things.
Nah, dude. I'll talk to like anyone. Like for real. Like I mean. Obviously, like, I mean, this is going to sound like such a dumb flex, but, like, there are a lot of message requests, but every night I'll just, like, pick random ones and, like, just text for a little bit, and it's really fun. Like, especially being quarantined in a pandemic, it's like, yeah, any social interactions you can get, like, are great, especially with random people because it's like this, you're both just, like, being weird with each other, and, like, you can't tell if the other person's being genuine or not. So, like, yeah, it's a fun experience.
You started it morning. You're a good guy. All right. You started the conversation with good morning. That's a good one. That's a good. You didn't say, oh, we're doing the interview yet? Hey, you're a little late. No, it's hey, what's up? Good morning. That's nice.
Yeah, you got to be a little passive aggressive. Like, morning. What's up? I'm just chilling. No, I'm just kidding. It was so chill, dude. Like, we could do this anytime. Like, I'm vibing. I'm out at 11, so we're all good.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay. Another thing I noticed really quickly is that it's like you seem to stick with short form content. I don't see anything on YouTube. You're not taking over the why?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So YouTube is something that I want to break into, and I'm very cognizant of the fact that like there needs to be sort of a plan on there. I don't want to just kind of throw things on YouTube because with TikTok and Reels, there's like a very set aesthetic and people know what to expect. And YouTube, similarly, I feel like the feed should have that continuity to it. So, I mean, I might like put up TikToks and Reels on there just to sort of get an initial subscriber base. Right now, there's another Ethan Fields on YouTube who posts like fishing videos. And so
I looked up, I was like, dang, Ethan catch this fish.
Yeah. So obviously like fish people aren't necessarily our demographic, so we need to sort of purge that.
If you think about the ratio from fish to people on the planet, there's way more fish out there. So
That's true. That's true. Maybe this is
somehow.
this is like one of those eye-opening moments where, like, after the podcast, like, rip off the headphones and start, like, interviewing the fish. I don't even know what I'm saying. So, like, so yeah, YouTube. I definitely see that as a space for music promo, like videos, very high quality stuff. Definitely want to start shooting videos for the new stuff that I'm recording. That'll probably happen in winter after the stuff is like kind of finalized. But yeah, stay tuned for that.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I'm kind of the mentality where I think because it's just, think about whatever the content is. Anyway, I mean, you can maybe deticify it a little bit, maybe like removing some of the tags, but I think just putting up that stuff anyways. There are so many YouTube videos that are 30 seconds long anyways. Like it is a weird thing, but I do think putting like longer, more maybe exclusive content on there would be cool. But I think you should just go. I was actually surprised. I was like, whoa, you have all this short form content. You're doing well there. You even have a little Webby, which is nice, but it's like, where's the YouTube? I thought that was like a key point. I was just surprised. I think the last thing I really want to talk about is like, I think it's Mental Health Awareness Month, isn't it? Today or this week or next week. So you're getting all this traction. It's nice. It's cool. But I think another thing people don't really talk about is that there is a extreme pressure. And what is that pressure? I mean, you're doing school, you're doing other things, you're living your life. But now what is that pressure that you see? Like you said, you don't want to just fade away. And I think a lot of people have that feeling. So how do you do that? And how do you deal with the pressure of just like do you wake up going, like there's like a heavy weight on your chest? It's just like, oh my God, okay, what can I make lampoon today? What can I make a 30-second video of today? Give me your thoughts about how you deal with that.
Yeah, totally. It's stressful in a logistic sense of just you have finite hours in the day to work on your craft. And so with being in school, it's a lot to keep up with your assignments, do videos and short form content, and then also record music. And for me, I'm trying to sort of reshuffle the priorities in a way. Like obviously I still want to do well in school, get passing grades or whatever, get the degree, but like I want to make sure that I'm like devoting enough time to make that quality music. And so there's this great tension of fulfilling your school requirements while also looking at the bigger picture of like, because like you have people in your ear now like saying like, oh, if you sign with us or this management team, like we can get you to this level. I mean, even talking this podcast, like you mentioned like, oh, next June, 1 million followers. So like right now it's just like a lot of like random suits and heads, like just like kind of showing you the glitz and glamour of, oh, this could potentially be you if you do these 3 steps, And so it does feel like a way to sort of live up to that expectation, not necessarily because I feel like I'm incapable of it, but because right now it's like it's going to take a level of work that I don't think I'm putting in, and that'll come once the semester ends. I'm thinking about taking some time off in the spring to really, really delve into this and kind of just like make the best shit possible. So who knows? It'll probably all work out in the end. But right now, especially with the world condition. I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
No, I was going to say, go ahead and pull a Zuckerberg. I think taking off sometime in the spring would be a really smart idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, that on top of the world conditions, on top of being isolated from friends, on top of like, romantic stuff that's fallen through, like, it can just sometimes feel like the walls are closing in, so to speak. In a lot of ways, those sentiments I think show up in the content, which is great because it's like energy to channel all that. So like this one jingle I have, like "I'm lonely, don't talk to me" is like this very paradoxical phrase, but like I think a lot of people resonate with that. Like some people just want to be by themselves for a little bit, and they crave the interaction, but then there's also the anxiety that comes with the interaction. So you're kind of like just socially trapped, So I guess that,
I think that's what an artist does, right? They connect emotionally with somebody. They connect through whatever medium they choose to use. For you is like humor and music. I just think I just want to worry. I just worry. My paternal instinct to worry, man. Like I've seen a lot of people in Hollywood and other places. They burn out hard. Even Bill Wirtz, like he doesn't upload things in a while because I think he burns out. The pressure, everything coming up on him. So I just want to make sure that at least we have some sort of discussion about just like being aware of that. I think it's cool to push. It's cool you're getting all this traction. Yeah, I want my prediction to come true, but I also want to make sure you don't fucking go crazy. Dealing with internet trolls, dealing with all this stuff, and feeling like you absolutely have to. Because either way, you can live a fulfilling life without being famous on TikTok. I'm doing it. It's possible.
Yeah, totally, dude. I appreciate you bringing up that conversation. I think the big thing is like to not get trapped into one pursuit for too long. So it's nice like pivoting between music and videos and comedy, because if one thing isn't fulfilling, you know, you can kind of like try another realm. I think a lot of people like get a lot of musicians get stuck in that like, I have to record the next album, and you hear about bands going into like depressive phases because for whatever reason the inspiration isn't striking. It's the type of thing where like you can't just like iCal, oh, music recording 7 to 10 and I'm gonna, you know, get a song out of it. Like so it's such an organic thing, and the way this industry is and the way like TikTok is set up, not TikTok, but like just short form content, people expect you to regularly produce. So there's a tension between the expectation of regularly producing and then also producing content that has longevity and like a broader cultural significance than just like the 15 seconds of dopamine that you're giving to people, you know?
So with some of this success you've seen, this is another thing. Tell me about the sharks that come out, because they do. How do you even navigate that? I mean, this is a weird interview, like, hey, or like a weird email from a weird guy like me. I'm like, hey, what's up? Let's do a podcast. And you're like, yeah, cool. But what do you do when they're like, hey, what's up? This is Wealth Branch Management, and we would love to represent you for, you know, what are you doing? How you?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's just a lot of like running the phones every week. The way most managers operate is they'll kind of just initiate a conversation without upfront saying like, I'm going to offer you like X percentage for you to produce, you know, this amount of albums with us or whatever. Like it's not really like that. Like they want the relationships to form organically, which is like really good. But it's still like, you know, takes some vetting on both sides. So like you want to, as an artist, like look at who are their clientele, what do other artists say about them who are potentially considering working with them, and then like what are their just overall philosophies. So like a lot of times in these phone calls, each manager sort of has a slightly different vision of like what Ethan Fields is. So like some people are really intrigued by, for example, the comedy writing, and they almost see like sort of this like Fred Armisen SNL route, you know, potentially. Whereas other people are like more interested in just pure music making, and they sort of leave it up to the artist to chart that path. I mean, I will say like there's definitely well, I don't want to show my hand too much here, but like there's some groups that are emerging that I'm really excited to work with, and it just like it's really a matter of time before like getting the confirmation that like the goal is just, you know, whatever a shark ends up kind of like working with me, like is can we get music out to the largest number of people possible and create the best stuff at the end of the day. And so that's sort of just like where the main evaluation is centered around. Yeah, it was a little bit of a winding answer, but
and so what do you use to produce, and how long does each talk take you, you know, on average?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the production of the videos is super lo-fi. Like I just literally have an Amazon tripod and shoot on iPhone for everything. I actually shoot in Instagram to get the filters using the hands-free stuff, which is a little tedious at times to edit, but well, not really. It just breaks it up into 10-second clips. Luckily, the videos are short, right?
Algorithm's picking you up on FYP.
Maybe, dude. That'd be crazy if it detected. Actually, it wouldn't be crazy at all. Like they have awesome technology. So from a music front, I guess for finishing the videos, so I edit them in iMovie, and then for sort of the special text and effects, like for example, like the zooms and things like that, I'll use this program called Motion, which is like Apple's like effects program. It's supposed to work with Final Cut. I got it when I was 12 thinking that it was Final Cut because I was not smart. And it ended up laying dormant for years, but now like I'm realizing, oh, this is a great like text editing tool, and it's great to get that custom font that I use and everything. So that's on the video side. On the music side, everything is just produced in Logic Pro, like, and pretty stock. Like I got Ozone this summer just to do my own masters, because originally I was like going through Lander, which is this like AI mastering website, you know. But yeah, everything is like stock Logic sounds. A lot of people are surprised by that. They're like the most common form of DM early on when I was doing music stuff was like, what's your DAW, what's your synth? And it's like you still have to make the sounds, you know. It's not like you can just like download you know, the 1975 from online and they're on your computer. Although now you actually can, because they've like uploaded all their stems, which is a separate thing. But
so it's just Logic, it's custom made sounds, and then it's a little bit of Ozone. Yeah, you know, fun fact about Lander, I think they have like 200 employees. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy. I don't know about like what I would have expected, but Yeah.
He gets like 5 guys. You know, hey, we're making this landry. No, it's like a huge corporate operation. I know, just weird Google facts. I was like, wow, that one took me back.
That's cool. I mean, they're definitely like trying to break into that distribution realm, so I can see why that would need more heads. That's really cool.
Yep, dude. All right, so this is Ethan Fields. Dude, I'm honestly, again, I'm on the hype train. You know, not too much pressure. You already have enough shit going on, but I think it's great, dude. I think you have an organic voice. I think you resonate. I think you capture that pandemic sound of isolation, loneliness, and the frustration we all feel. And I think it's just great. And I want you just to continue to do what you do at your own pace. And this is awesome, dude. Honestly, awesome. I can't wait to be on the toilet just flipping through FYP, hopefully seeing some more Ethan Fields soon, you know?
That's amazing, man. And thanks so much, Charles, for inviting me out. This is the first podcast I think I've done. So you have that claim to fame potentially. Who knows? This might flame out. This could just be like a funny thing you look back on.
No,
but,
I don't think so. That experiment in the spring, that's going to go well, man.
Appreciate you, dude.
Thank you.
That's been another episode of The Zard Show. Thanks for sticking around and being a part of my life. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the show, go ahead and like and subscribe or share the episode. If you'd like to support me further, I have a Patreon, or you can donate at thezardshow.com. Remember to be kind, stay humble, and let your curiosity guide you to a better you. See ya.